Hello friends and fellow gamers, MKxJUMP here, and this week we've got a brand new event for Idle Heroes, which is an event we've not seen for a year. An event that is full of FOMO, fear of missing out, and is extremely predatory towards spenders. So I'm going to be breaking this week's event down and ushering a word of caution as to whether you should be going after this event or saving your resources. Ultimately, it will be your decision at the end, but I will evaluate this and hopefully give you my opinions on what I think about this event. So, let's jump into today's video and check out this week's event for Idle Heroes. So, every day for logging in this week, we're going to get ourselves 4 ordinary dice, as well as 100 medals of purification. Now, these are the special currency that's being dropped in campaign this week, so make sure you log in and claim your campaign loot. As well, you'll get these dice, which can be used in the Imp's Adventure to make progress. So you can see here in the loot, you'll be getting these medals, and they will get you progress. So if you go down into the Radiant Temple, these medals can be cashed in to get some really nice rewards. A free-to-play player should expect to pick up about 2,400 of these medals, along with whatever other rewards you'll get from Imp's Adventure for reaching these different tier stages. That means when it comes to picking what to buy, it's typically the go-to to grab treasure selection chests of the orange level. These will contain lots of different things for you to choose, but my advice would be to go for the ones that are from hero tokens, so either the Lady Sunshine Hat or the Soul Conjuring Flute, as the Lady Sunshine Hat does improve the control effects of your mages, and the Soul Conjuring Flute is able to give you a big attack boost for your team. So both of these are very, very good. However, if you do get to a little bit of a higher level, if you've spent a little bit of money this week, you may get more, and therefore it might even be worth considering a pink selection chest instead. You also have the option of star spawn items, but I don't think that's worth it in the face of treasure selection chests, because improving your star spawns is nothing compared to the value you get from treasure selection chests. So I would go for these if you can. Now, let's look at the stuff we have available for this week. First of all, we have the Illusion Leaderboard finishing from last week. So if you did manage to go ahead and cash in your Card Clash rewards, you should be getting yourself some nice gems. On top of that, we've got our value packages for this week, and these are just humble giving dice and gems, and are definitely not what you should be spending your money on this week, as you shall see. As well, we have an adventure package. This is giving gems, dice, and universal crystals with 2 unique currencies here. We have Sacred Awakening Stones, and we also have Charm Treasure Coupons. And these are going to be interesting for the rewards and the events that we have ahead, because, well, this week it's very, very spender heavy and is rewarding you for doing so. So we'll be looking at what these are used for precisely in a moment, so stay tuned. We have double privileges as well. This gives you double the rewards from Imp's Adventure, so double the amount of medals of purification and double the additional bonuses. So Imp's Adventure allows you to roll a dice, it moves you around, and depending on where you land, you get different rewards. When you land on a tile with a level, you can level it up, and once it's level 3, it gives the max rewards. The goal is to level up these starry mushrooms so they give the most amount of stars when you pass over them. You can see this one only gave me 3 when I passed across. But at level 3, it gives 5, and you want to get as many stars as you can because these stars account to prizes. Most free-to-play players should typically end up to get 140, but if you decide to go and spend some gems for 30 more dice, you might find yourself reaching the 5-star chest, or even as far as the material selection chest, and in very rare cases, some people even manage to get the light and dark chest, but you have to be very lucky for that. So make sure you roll the dice around, use the lucky dice to skip ahead and land back on the lucky hut so you can keep cutting off this corner, and that's typically how to make the best progress. If in doubt, hit the smash button. To make further progress in Imp's Adventure, make sure you also do the Shelter mission. This allows you to get each of these 5-star heroes you see pictured here, and for that you're going to need 4 stars that match their faction and class. As well, you need to throw in a 5-star copy from that faction too, but in return you get a copy of the hero with armor and, more importantly, 5 dice. So there's 20 dice to grab across the normal heroes here, which this week we have Luna, Eloise, Seahu, and Waldeck. One important note about Waldeck is he needs assassins, not rangers, because there are no 4-star rangers in the Abyss faction. Also, we have the light and dark heroes here at the end, but these aren't worth it as they cost 2,000 gems, and you're probably best saving your gems for a much better event. If we move down, we have the Glorious Feast, and this is where things get extremely interesting for those that wish to spend. All of these packages are locked unless you have a VIP level. all the way down to VIP 10 for the top package. From these, you can grab Sacred Awakening Stones, which let you do special sorts of awakens in the Soul Temple with increased odds of getting the higher tier heroes. As well, there's these treasure train items, which can be used in the treasure train with the chance of getting some very rare festival items there as well. So let's go first look at the treasure train. You can put in 2 items of your choice. I would typically argue you're best going with the finest hour recorder. However, there are other choices that may be wise here. I will trust you guys to go and check out the temple for yourself, but you could perhaps want this, as this increases your all damage reduction, or maybe you just want to boost up the bunny basket for additional all damage dealt, but it doesn't give quite as much as the finest hour recorder. If you look at the other option, these are the orange treasures, and here is encapsulated memories. If you have not maxed this, this is a fantastic item that buffs your crit damage. If you have, it may be worth considering instead then the Sweet Slumber, as this buffs holy damage. Remember, that's only for Transcendence heroes, but they're the most important heroes in the game, so these are 2 extremely valuable items that I would be chasing. For you to get them, you can go ahead and open your tickets, and every 30 tickets you do, you are guaranteed to get the orange item of your choice. Every 50 tickets, it's guaranteed to get a pink item. So the idea behind this is they want people to spend a lot of money on these particular tickets so that they can guarantee the older festival items that are no longer available in the game. It's a clever way of making this a very exclusive event that rewards people for spending a lot of money and creates that fear of missing out for those of you that don't have those festival items and probably have very limited chances to pick them back up. You do, however, need to spend a lot of money to get them, and it does scale up depending on your VIP level, and you could spend as much as 300 bucks in here, which is an extremely terrifying amount to consider. You can also spend the exact same amount over here in the Soul Awakening area for these Sacred Awakening Stones, and don't forget the Imp's Adventure package is also $50 and gives 10 of those currencies as well. So, about this Soul Awakening session, it tells you there's these massive increased drop rates for these heroes, but really it's nothing special. You can see that an S is still extremely rare at 0.047%, and you can see A pluses are still very rare too at 0.06. A's are rare still at 0.13, and A minuses are still extremely unlikely at 0.225%. Bs, though, do have a sizable drop chance, which makes this at least interesting for people wanting to dip their toes in. However, the first 10 Soul Awakens you do are bound and cannot be traded, therefore they can only be destroyed for contract story gems on your account. Therefore, it's worth looking at the plus button in the top right, which tells you that you can buy 10 of these Sacred Awaken stones for 100 contract story gems each, which is the standard value of an Awaken. Therefore, if you have 1,000 contract story gems on your account, I would absolutely use that to get these Sacred Awakening stones and do 10 openings, because the likelihood is you will actually make a profit, and you can either keep the heroes you obtain or you can go and destroy them. My advice would be, if you don't already have a B copy or perhaps even an A copy of your strongest hero, then I would open all copies of your strongest hero in here with the chance of getting an A, but more likely you'll get a B. And if none of them are stronger than the Awaken you already have, you can destroy them and get your contract story gems back. What is important is the drop rate for an A- is 0.225%. And actually, when you add up all the drop rates, it comes out to somewhere between 0.4 and 0.5%. So the odds of you not getting an A tier from each pull is 0.9955. Now, if we times that to the power 10, which is going to be the number of openings you do, that's going to tell us that the odds of you getting an A- are the opposite of this number. So that's going to work out to around 4.5%. So that means, on average, for every 20 of you that decide to go in on this, one person will get an A- hero, which means there will be a lot of A- heroes being added to the game for your accounts. But do remember, they are bound, so make sure that you're awakening your strongest hero and the hero you need an A- for. But this is excellent for free-to-play players because a significant number of you that wouldn't have dreamed of getting an A tier on your account before will absolutely be able to get one. And let me know in the comments section below if that's you. Also, if you manage to do 150 Awakens here, you're guaranteed an A- or better hero. The danger of that, though, is the way to get to 150 awakens is to spend every single dollar you have on these packs. Therefore, if I was going to spend money on this myself, I would only do so if I was already VIP 10 and absolutely prepared to go ahead and spend all the money I have. I would progressively buy them because you don't want to buy the whole thing and then high roll the A- halfway through. You would just want to increase them bit by bit, buying the smallest pack and then the next one and then the next one, opening them as you go until you finally do high roll that A- hero. And if you don't high roll the A- hero, well, unfortunately, then you have gone ahead and wasted all your money. So make sure you do 150, which is only available if you are VIP 10. That to me is insane because it's $300 for all of this plus the $50 for the adventure package here. $350 for a guaranteed A tier might sound okay when you compare the Starry Gem price of them at the moment with how much it costs you to get Starry Gems in the game, but personally I think it's terrible value because you're not getting anything else from this. All you're doing is getting awakens and an A tier. Sure, there'll be people that profit from this and get loads of A tiers and might walk away with tons of Starry Gems and feel absolutely fantastic, but most of you will just end up with an A- on the pity. Also, this event is not giving you anything like sublimation, destiny rewards, soul stars, anything to help improve your heroes apart from awakens. And therefore I find this questionable value because we've seen before events sometimes just give us Starry Gems as part of normally spending anyway. So if you're used to spending a lot of money on this game, which if you're VIP 10, you clearly are, it is best for you to use that money to go after things like relays and other good packages during events which maximize your reward gain. So you get as many destiny materials and also some Starry Gems along the way as well. So eventually you can get yourself an A tier or two on your account. Chasing this involves a lot of gambling, and sure, there are going to be people that do very well, but there are going to be people that are extremely spiteful and don't do well. Therefore, I would just probably only go in on this if you have $350 to waste and treat it like a night at the casino. It is definitely not smart spending, but perhaps you might get something lucky and then it won't feel so bad. But of course, for every person that wins big on red, there's a person that loses. So just chucking all your money into the roulette wheel of Idle Heroes is a little bit dangerous. And the very scary thing is the thing that will keep you spending is the promise of that inevitable A- at the end if you get unlucky. So at least there's a pity prize, but still it feels extremely risky to go ahead and chase this. So all in all, I can understand and empathize with anybody who feels tempted to spend on this week's event. Yes, the promise of an A tier is quite exciting, and who knows, it could be an S tier. You could get extremely lucky, in which case you'll feel great. But then again, if you don't high roll, you'll feel a bit poop. On top of that, we have the treasure train items here, and yes, this is probably one of the few ways you will get access to something like the encapsulated memories. So if you're a big whale looking to maximize your treasure train, then yeah, I can totally understand the incentive behind spending here. So I can understand why someone would want to chase this. I just don't think it's necessarily the smartest purchase in Idle Heroes. But then again, when it comes to gambling, dopamine spikes, and huge amounts of fun, perhaps smart spending isn't the goal here. It's just, hey, look, I'm VIP 10. I've already spent thousands on this game. What's a little more? And it's exactly that mindset that DH Games are preying on. It's the promise of reward for people who have already given their money to DH Games. So DH Games knows you're loose with your cash and knows that it's very easy to tempt you to give them more. After all, they're a business, and casino techniques like this are fantastic for making them money, and a lot of people will be happy with their rewards, so they'll carry on playing and they'll keep on spending. It's quite smart, but at the same time, a little predatory too. If you know what you're getting into, it's not so bad though, so just be careful out there, guys. And if you are a free-to-play player, and you do your 10 awakens, and you do manage to get an A tier, then that's going to be amazing for you guys. And I'm sure there's going to be plenty of you in the comment section below that share your success stories with us. So just make sure you awaken your best hero, whether it's an Aspen, a Mockman, Vulcan, someone who is going to give you a lot of merit if you are able to get an A tier. And do remember, they cannot be sold. So it's just a bonus for you particularly so that you can make good progress on your account. So that's this week's event. Let's take a look at next week's event. We have a new Transcendence hero. Williams is becoming Transcended, as you can see with his Midnight Sonata form. Looks rather interesting. On top of that, we have a hero exchange event, which is giving Melissa and Queen, and we have the usual hero lottery, summon prizes, Palace of Eternity, and Palace of Crystal. And normally a Transcendence event is excellent for later game free-to-play players, as this should give us soul stars and perhaps other great bonuses as well, like Destiny materials, without having to spend any money at all. So fingers crossed that's good, and if you want a breakdown of next week's event and all future Idle Heroes events to come, hit that subscribe button as I review these events every Friday so you know exactly what to do in the week ahead. Thanks for tuning in, folks. I'll see you next time, and as always, have an amazing week, and let me know if you managed to get lucky this week in the comments section down below. I'll see you next time, folks. As always, happy idling.